What is up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Bet you didn't expect to see me today, huh? On a Sunday? I might start coming in on Sundays more often to make these videos, but as always, I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to more esports news. My name is Jake. I am super happy because today, Denial Esports is officially leaving esports. And yes, why I'm happy? Well, if you guys have been here over the last 2 weeks, we've talked about the scumminess of the most notorious scummy organization probably in esports over the past 2 years with their former owner and their new owner. And we've seen some bit back and forth with, of course, the Call of Duty team, several rosters there, the CSGO teams, so many things gone wrong with the organization. They are now officially, according to their former CEO as well as their current, it's a confusing situation. According to Blackbeard as well as Zach, though, their former CEO, they are now officially leaving esports, and I'm pretty happy about this. And a huge part of this, actually, thanks to Sir Scoots or Scott Smith on Twitter. I'll link him down below. He was on watch for the organization. I announced this on Friday, and by the time Saturday/today came around, within 24 hours, it was pretty much his watch has now ended, and Denial Esports is shutting down and slowly going to be releasing all of their players from their contracts. And before you guys, I'm sure most of you are going to agree with me on this statement so far. This is scumminess between the organization and these players, the lack of transparency, and of course the surplus of lies out there between what we've seen and what has actually been done. It's pretty strenuous when it comes to this situation. So trust me when I say this. I think the esports organization is better off being gone, and I hope all of the players they currently do still have signed will find other homes to be signed to, because they all actually have a few rosters currently. At least CSGO and their Call of Duty rosters are trying to find new homes to be paid elsewhere, so I hope that does work out for them in the future. But I think all in all, it's best this organization ends up in the ground. Now Zach, though, he did not go out quietly. This is probably what many of you probably expected from Zach when this was going to happen, and let's overview his tweets on screen for all of you guys. And I don't even know where we'll start at the start. How about that? Firstly, he actually talks about how they tried to turn a tainted name around. Now I will give credit where credit is due. They tried their best, and they somehow made the organization that was known for scamming players, they somehow made it all the worse, which is actually pretty impressive when you think about that. Hopping back into the tweets, though, he actually admits he was happy that the organization folded. He is happy all this is actually happening and shutting down as well, which is a weird thing to state. And here is where we get into some juicy stuff where Zach actually starts jabbing at former players and members of the organization, and expected from Zach, right? He's burning a bunch of bridges on his way out of the esports scene. The first of which, he calls out a former French player. I do believe this might be one of the former Call of Duty members. He says he dropped out of high school, therefore should not have any opinion on the situation itself because of his extremely low IQ. Jab one to Zach. Congratulations, man. I'm really scared of you. If you guys aren't scared of Zach, then maybe watch this video and you'll know exactly why you should be scared of the man.
Nerds are mad that I said I didn't it as a connotation negative for gays. I said it because he was being a It's the same as being a bitch. My son's gay. My sister's gay. I'm pretty sure I'm gay. So I'm not knocking that community. If anyone has a problem with that at any organization, they can talk to me personally. Other than that, that little H1Z1 prick took my money, didn't hold up his end of the deal, and is now calling me fake. Hence him being a.
And then he calls it a player named Zeke, which I just feel bad for, because you can tell the anger in Zach's voice, because apparently this guy Zeke, he had paid him some money when his daddy couldn't pay the mortgage. I just don't like that. I really don't like that word, especially coming from a grown man calling another dude's dad daddy. It just gives me some weird vibes. There's jab number 2, but then he keeps on going and just keeps on digging the hole. Then he calls out Team Overtime. If you guys have not watched the video on this channel as well, Team Overtime was the roster that got them, that being Denial, their CWL spot, and they kicked pretty much the entire roster. They picked up a brand new roster as well, and apparently, reportedly, I should say, did not actually pay that former roster for getting them the CWL spot. They've also had trouble getting those salaries paid on top of that. So that was one of many issues they did have. And on top of that as well, kind of updates for all of you guys who do follow the organization. Their current CWL team, Rated, did take to Twitter and say they're actually currently looking for a brand new home as well as sponsorship. So I'll link his Twitter down below for all of you guys. So I guess we'll call that jab 3 and 4. The jab 5, though, is because Zach continues and goes off on one of their PUBG guys. Now I will say this PUBG guy had gone off on Zach on Twitter publicly for quite some time over the past 2 weeks, talking pretty bad trash about him. But either way, Zach calls him out and says he was getting in trouble overseas. Apparently he got them out of that trouble, but he was getting in trouble buying hookers and blow. Okay, this is like some good stuff, huh? Like the way that he is going out is just like, man. So again, obviously none of that's going to be probably proven true, and probably does not look good for the guy he did call out on Twitter, who is currently one of their former members for their PUBG squad. But like, wow, these are like, it kind of makes you wonder what else goes on in organizations where, responsible owners probably don't say this stuff publicly, and for good reason. Then he finishes up by saying he will be paying the CSGO team, which I'll show you guys a tweet from Sir Scoots as well. He pretty much calling him out and saying that is a bunch of BS. The contract they're currently in is pretty much blackmail, and so we'll figure that situation out somewhere in the future. And that's how he went out. One last tweet as well for all of you guys. Just a big old go frick yourself. What a way to end somewhat, not even a legacy, what a way to end a solid few months as an organization, as they did have a few solid teams out there, but they were met with controversy the entire way. From the very second they joined in, people were very worried about this owner, that being Zach, the former CEO, alongside Blackbeard. As you guys can imagine, they don't really look like they haven't presented themselves as the best pairing to run an organization, and it gets somehow even better. Now, with all this drama, all this controversy, the first Denial CEO, who still has that Twitter tag as well, has now come forward and said, hey, if they need help paying the CSGO players, I am here. If he's actually going to pay those guys, Fedget's in the old roster as well, I have no idea. But how funny is it somewhat that now you have the new owners doing such a bad job, now they're going to be leaving esports, and then the first guy who scammed people is now coming back and saying, hey, I'll pay him this time, I swear. This entire story has just been insane to me, and I'm really curious what you guys, as always, think in the comment section down below. Luckily enough, I think Denial will be leaving esports for good. They should be closing, and I hope no one touches this name ever again. It should be gone away with, because there is no such thing as third time as a charm when it comes to scummy organizations out there. The story is done and dusted, and they should be closing out of esports. The now reported amount, though, of unpaid salaries as well as fees to players out there does actually amount to apparently over $100,000 as of right now for the organization. So some trouble still coming their way, and hopefully all the players, I really do hope of all the situation. Yes, I do make light of the owners being terrible at what they did, but I really do hope the players, first of all, get paid currently for what they've done, and also find new homes for other organizations. Because there was one thing that Zach did say, which really did stand out to me. That was the brutal honesty about the very little return financially that an esports organization has actually held. And yes, the way they went about things has been extremely scummy and extremely cutthroat, I would say. But with that being said, I've actually had talks on this channel about an esports bubble, right? All these organizations who are bringing in so many investors, but what is the actual return? And so that one thing, that one line, he was very brutally honest and said the return is so minimal. That does worry me for the future of esports. And will we continue to see scamming organizations like this? I really do think so. But as always, hope you guys all enjoy. I will have one more video today, and of course be back here on Monday. If you guys are CSGO fans, hey, I got some great, tomorrow's going to be great for all of us in esports news, and I cannot wait to make those videos. As always, I'll have one more video today, though, and I'll see you guys back here Monday, as in tomorrow, breaking down more news out there. Thank you all for subbing. We also broke 30,000 subscribers over the weekend. You guys make me incredibly happy, so thank you all very much. I'll see you sometime soon. Until then, take care.